Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. Today I want to talk about Ragnarok Online episode 17.1, which is honestly one of my favorite episodes right after 17.2. By 17.1 you help out a group of very well endowed rebellions investigate the Regenship Corporation, the Regenship scientists and the whole thing. I don't want to spoil the storyline for you, and there are many guidelines available for the storyline on the internet, especially on IroWiki. So I encourage you to check that out. The focus of this video will be on the gears because I couldn't find a very good description of how to enchant the gear and what do you exactly get. So that being said, the episode 17.1 in Ragnarok Online brings 3 new instances with 4 new MVPs, out of which honestly only 2 are viable to even mention, really, which would be the very first one, Miguel, and the very last one, the Bestia. The middle 2 would be the Sorrow Corb or Krob and an RSX knockoff, which I forgot the name of. Yes. You're going to meet the middle 2 in the questline instances. The first one, the Sorrow Corb, is going to be a little bit more difficult in my opinion. The last one, which is the RSX instance, is actually pretty easy and I enjoyed it a lot. My friend was lucky enough to drop the actual MVP card from the quest instance, which was kind of funny. It's nothing crazy, to be honest. The cards, they're not too great. So let's move on. The real cards that are actually good in this episode are just the regular monster cards. You know, I've brought up 2 on the screen so you can check them out. The Sewage Venenum card, which increases Fatal Menace and Triangle Shot damage, which is just fantastic for, you know, the time when you're already after Bio 5, when you have your old Shadow Handicraft. Then you just drop this into your inventory as well, and your just Triangle Shot just keeps going better and better as a Shadow Chaser. Or if you're a GX, your Rolling Cutter gets even better as well, because Sewage Cramp is just that much cooler, right? Unfortunately, these cards combo with cards from 17.2 as well, such as Aries card, and depending on where you're playing, you might not have Rock Ridge, which, I mean, chronologically, Rock Ridge should have been implemented before 17.1, but who knows, especially on Ragnarok Europe, you never really know. Alright, but the thing that we are really here to talk about is, or rather are, the armors. So before you start reading what's on the screen, let me tell you there are 2 types of armors. There's Illusion Armor Type A and Illusion Armor Type B. And by saying armor, I don't mean specifically the chest piece, just all of them. So Type A usually refers to physical attack and physical attack attributes. Type B refers to magical attack and magical attack attributes and enchants. I didn't list all the items. You can easily find them on Divine Pride or any other wiki. So we will just go for the enchants and how I feel they really work. So I love these items, by the way. I think, especially the armors, the Type A gives you baseline 100 attack just out of nowhere. And it's like you can wear it at level 130 as well. Usable by all jobs, mind you, even the expanded classes. So that is fantastic. And you get additional attack plus 10 per 2 upgrade levels of the item. If the upgrade level is plus 7 or higher, you get 10% attack speed. If the equipped with Illusion Engine Wing Type A, which is the garment that you see on the right, you get an additional 50 attack. If it's equipped with Illusion Engine Type B, which you see on the right, again because it's the same item, just a different type, same garment, different type, it reduces the global delay of skills by 10%, which is fantastic. It's like 1/3 of a kill card right there. The illusion legs by themselves, the boots, they do not give anything. However, the enchants make them really worthwhile in my opinion, and you'll see that in a minute. The illusion engines, which would be the garments, have different attributes depending on which type they are. One goes with HP and attack speed and crit damage, and variable cast time apparently, just kind of a funny setup by the way. The other one is again HP, and I believe it was variable cast time and some magic damage. I can't quite remember. I haven't really used the garment, and I don't recommend you do, But if you like the whole set for some reason, I'm going to go through the enchants for it as well. The accessories are interesting, as there are two sets of accessories. There's Illusion Booster, left and right, which is the attack version. It gives plus 5% attack each. And then there's Illusion Battle Chip, left and right, that gives you 5% magic attack. So keep that in mind. You cannot combine two battle chips are two illusion boosters are. It has to be left and right. So it's a little bit too complicated. Not sure why they did that, but this is what it is. So in order to enchant these items and actually build them as well in the first place, you need core cores and mysterious components, which are items that are dropped from monsters in the Rudus area. And you will go through the Rudus area multiple times within the quest line. You will be definitely familiar with it, so there's no need to really elaborate on that too much. Regarding the enchanting system itself, KRO has the option to pick the exact enchant that you want for a specific slot. So the amount of core cores and mysterious components that you need is, or might be, significantly lower than on any other server that you might be playing. For example, the European Ragnarok Online, I would 100% expect to be a random enchant out of the pool. So we'll see how that works. But I'm just saying, on KRO, if you want a specific enchant in slot 3, you pick that specific enchant, and then you want a specific enchant in slot 2, pick that specific enchant, and then the same for slot 1. So if you want to start with enchanting, I recommend you upgrade the item to +9 first, as all of these enchants have improved effects based on the upgrade level of the item. And you know, when 17.2 comes, you will need a +9 upgraded illusion item in order to make the automatic item later. So you start by enchanting the slots 3, then the slot 2, then the slot 1. Slots 3 and 2 have the same modification orbs or enchants available. As you can see on the screen, the first two are defense and magic defense, which I don't really see anyone using, but they are there in case you want to make it like a super tanky character. But other than that, you also have a choice of these three, which I think are a lot more interesting. These modification orbs for sharpshooter, which is long range damage on targets by 3%, and then additional 2 at +7 and additional 2 at +9. So that's 7% for just one little enchant. And modification orb for attack, which baseline gives you 5% attack, but if it's upgraded +7, attack +25, upgrade to +9, attack +25 again. So just fantastic amounts of attack, just attack for days. And then you have modification orb magic attack, which is analogous to the previous one, magic attack +5%, and then at +7 +25 magic attack, +9 +25 magic attack. Keep in mind you can have 2, because these apply for both slot 3 and 2, so you can have modification orb magic attack, magic attack, and then an enchant for slot 1, which in my opinion there's only one choice right here, and it's the global delay modification orb. Reduces the global delay of skills by 5%, and then additional 5% at +7 and additional 5% at +9, so that's like half a kill card right there on an armor slot. Just Ragnarok Online gets so much more dynamic and so much more overpowered in 17.1 that I really enjoyed this jump in say not difficulty, but jump in the character power that approaches right now, and in 17.2 later on as well. So in essence, you can have +100 baseline from your +100 magic attack or attack from baseline your armor, +100 magic attack and attack from your 2 enchants, and 10% from percentage attack and magic attack, and then you slap a half a kill card on top of it. And you still have a slot, mind you. These armors are all slotted. You can place a card in them too. So just have at it. I usually just place Angry Ninetales for type A. For type B, I can't quite remember what I did. It was probably something simple like an Agaf card, but who really cares at that point? I mean, you're pretty overpowered. So that's the armor, the chest piece itself. Now let's move on to the legs, which I find are not necessary by any means, but I find they are a good alternative if you're kind of tired of farming OGH. And there's really only one enchant that you should be talking about, and it's the fixed casting enchant. As a baseline, it gives you 0.3 seconds reduction of fixed casting time, and at +7 you get additional 0.2, at +9 additional 0.2, so you get 0.7 seconds reduction in fixed cast time, which is higher. It's 0.2 higher than temporal dex boots, which you get from old glass time. So if you're playing a class that, or you're just using skills that have a significant amount of fixed cast in them, this is probably a better option for you, as I think at this point in the game there just aren't very many options to reduce that fixed cast time yet. So getting it on shoes as much as you can is probably a very good idea. And I've been using them with the whole set before. It's fantastic. So it's a cool replacement for temporals, although you do not get the runaway magics type of stuff, enchants on them, but so that's the trade-off. Next, the accessories, which I've mentioned earlier, the two types of accessories, the battle chips and the illusion boosters. So the illusion boosters on the left, these grant you plus 5% attack baseline. The battle chips on the right, they grant you magic attack plus 5% baseline. Each of them can be enchanted at 3 slots, but unless you have plenty of spare parts or like core cores and mysterious components to spare, I would honestly not enchant besides the slot, the very first enchant, as you just get those, right? You get fatal, attack speed, modification, drain life, which is great. If you're a critical build, you want to enchant everything with fatal, of course, but I'm a magic player. I just care about the spell, so I only got the spell enchants, which is interesting because the spell enchant is on slot 3, which is the first enchant, mind you, because it goes slot 3, 2, and 1. But if you're playing more of a physical class, you can get drain life or fatal or attack speed. And the other enchants I didn't really mention, but they are just base stats enchants like strength plus 3, wit plus 3. They're good, but not game breaking in any way. But the accessories, when you bring both of them with spell, for example, you just get so much magic attack that you're kind of enjoying it for days, trust me. Next, and not the last, last but not least, that's what I wanted to say, are the garments. The garments are unfortunately quite defensive, especially if used just by themselves. There's no reason to use them just by themselves because they combo the best way with the legs, with the leg items. And the armor items as well, you might get an additional 50 attack, but I'm not sure if it's worth it if you're wearing something like +9 Fallen Angel wings with 3 times Expert Archer. That's probably going to be better than just 50 attack that you get from the combo. I don't know, you might want to experiment, but I'm not sure if it's worth it. Maybe if you have too many core fragments and just +9 upgrades, then go ahead and do that. But I would think out of all 4 slots, this is the last one that I would upgrade, that I would recommend upgrading and enchanting. And these are the really not notifiable, but notable enchants that you can get on it, which is the first one is attack speed +1. It's nice, but it's not game breaking. An additional 6% attack speed. Keep in mind, 6% attack speed works for the difference in your attack speed and the max attack speed, and that's the percentage from the difference of those attack speeds. Modification orbs for casters is at best. That's at best. That's what I just said. Reduces variable cast time by 11% at +9. It's nice, but again, variable cast time reduction works the same way attack speed percent works, as in it doesn't take, if a spell say casts for 10 seconds, it's not going to reduce the cast time by 1.1 second. It's going to reduce the cast time by 11% of what's left after your stat reduction by your dex and your int. So it's really not as hard over the reduction as you would think. Variable cast time reduction works the best if you have no stats. Modification orb critical is nice. It's actually the only one that I would say, okay, if you're playing a critical character and you don't have Fallen Angel wings, this is probably the one that you could go for. But then again, crit +10, crit you can get from other places, and critical damage is nice, but it's only 10%. I believe you can get more from Fallen Angel wings with full fatal enchants, right? Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe you do, and then you get temporal boots of luck. That's even better, so I don't think it's really worth it. But that's really about it. The last slot is Above All. That's the modification orb name, and it kind of just reduces damage from everything. It's nice if you want to build more tanky, but 15% is not gonna make or break your build. So, and that's just all property and all size and all race, so it's not even the same reduction, mind you. whereas these stack differently. If that was more homogeneous of a reduction, like all property on all 3 slots, that would be a lot better. But it's a different type of reduction, because it then first gets reduced by 5%, and then the other part of the calculation gets reduced by 5%, and then the next part of calculation gets reduced by 5%. So it ends up being actually a less of a reduction than if you just took the very first damage and reduced it by 15%. So that's what I'm saying. I think that's it. I hope you found that interesting, and I hope you'll have fun in 17.1, because I've had a lot of fun doing it. The questline is fantastic, the armors are great to make and upgrade, and they just kind of improve your build so much from what you had before. Like 16.1 abusive robes, they just kind of get thrown in trash when this comes out for the most part. Yeah, please follow me and subscribe, as I do live streams from Ragnarok Online almost every other day, either on Twitch or on YouTube, most of the time simultaneously on both platforms. So I hope you found that interesting, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.